Hi, I'm Evelyn from Florida. Please like and subscribe. 12 years into their marriage, my parents had given up hope of having a kid when suddenly I came along. I was their picture-perfect miracle baby with mom's auburn hair and dad's green eyes. People fawned over my looks, and my parents marveled over my brains as I crossed milestones faster than other kids my age. Except as I was growing older, my parents started noticing that I wasn't really like other kids. I didn't want to play with them and preferred to be alone. I was obsessed with taking apart machines and building Legos and puzzles. I couldn't move until I was done with something I'd started. Well, you could try to move me and then live to regret it. Once when I was 5, my parents and I flew over to Paris for a holiday. On our first night, as Mom unpacked my clothes, I noticed something was missing. Where are my purple socks? The ones with the dinosaurs? At home, I guess, but I packed other socks, sweetie. But they're not the purple ones. I want the purple socks with the dinosaurs. I drove my parents bonkers the whole night and the next day. I want my purple socks.
I want my purple socks. Why are you looking at this ugly lady? I want my purple socks with the dinosaurs.
I threw myself on the floor and screamed as everyone in the museum stared at us, and my parents carried me out. And that evening, we took a flight back to Florida, and I slept like a baby with my purple socks on. My parents thought I'd get better in school, but things just got worse. I didn't like sharing my things or having anyone touch them, and when other kids realized that, they only teased me more. But once in 2nd grade, the teacher announced we were going to the zoo, and I lost it.
It's not on the timetable. See? Where does it say trip to the zoo? We're supposed to have a math lesson. I'm not going. Everyone will stay here and we'll study math.
I refused to move from my seat as everyone laughed.
Why are you such a big baby? Go back to kindergarten. Grow up, weirdo.
But my teacher said I didn't have to go to the zoo and called my parents in. Later that day, they took me to the doctor, and after a series of tests, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome.
What does that mean? It means that Evelyn processes information differently than other people, and changes are especially hard for her. But I can teach her ways to manage her emotions better.
I wasn't entirely sure what the doctor meant, but I knew one thing: I wasn't like everybody else, and I just didn't fit in. Once in 6th grade, I was having lunch at my usual spot outside when I noticed an older boy bugging this new girl in my class, Alyssa. It looked like he was stealing her lunch money, and I couldn't just sit and watch. Hello, can you stop bothering Alyssa, please? Otherwise, I'll have to report you to the principal, and you'll get detention.
Oh, I'm scared. I'm shaking in my boots.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you that much. Wait, is that a mole on your hand?
Yeah? What's it to you?
I recently read about moles in a medical journal, and you should get that checked out by a doctor. Let me take a closer look.
No, back off, loser.
Please, I need to look at it. You could be really sick or dying. I'm just trying to help. Let me see it. I'm trying to save your life.
Oh my God, you're mental.
The boy ran off looking freaked out, and Alyssa was laughing like crazy.
That was hilarious. You're funny.
What's your name? Evelyn? And I wasn't trying to be funny. Well, I think you're a hoot, Evelyn. And thanks for scaring my idiot brother off. Actually, I stole his lunch money, and he was just trying to get it back. Let's go get some donuts, shall we? And that's how I made my first friend ever. And Alyssa was soon one of the popular kids. She was pretty and outgoing, and for some reason, she'd taken a liking to me. And when she invited me over to her birthday slumber party, I was over the moon. I picked out a model train set for her, and I couldn't wait to assemble it. Sweetie, maybe Alyssa will want to eat cake and play games first, so you'll have to be patient. Take a few deep breaths and count to 10 to calm down. Okay, fine. I'm just really excited. And that's okay, but it's Alyssa's party, so you have to let things go her way. I was able to keep my excitement in check and focus on having fun with Alyssa and the other kids, and it felt nice. Alyssa was my entry into any kind of social circle, and even though I knew other people still found me weird, she always had my back. In 9th grade, I got selected for a spot at a science summer camp for young geniuses. I was away learning all sorts of cool new things and came back home a week after school had started. I'd missed Alyssa, and I was so excited to see her. Except the next day, I couldn't find her anywhere. I stopped a girl from class to ask where she was, when suddenly I heard Alyssa laugh. You dummy. You've walked right past me, twice. I just hadn't recognized her. She'd dyed her hair and was wearing bright red lipstick, and her clothes were weird. What happened to you? You don't look good. You know how we've talked about you being too blunt at times? You still need to work on that. But I have to be honest, you don't look like yourself. I know you don't like change, but it's good sometimes. Come on, I want you to meet some new friends. It turned out that two famous boy band singers, Jamie and Lyle, had joined our school, and Alyssa was suddenly BFFs with them. And now I had to hang out with these pop stars, and all the girls were dying to get close to them. Lyle joined the football team and got busy with practice, but Alyssa started inviting Jamie everywhere with us, and I didn't like it. He was always bragging about his tours and his fans and his bestseller albums. It was so annoying. Wow, that's so cool. Don't you think so, Evelyn? Not really. I think their music kind of sucks.
Well, I think your mom's cooking kind of sucks.
What? You've tasted my mom's cooking? When?
It was a joke?
Oh, Evelyn doesn't get jokes. I get jokes. That just wasn't a joke. The definition of a joke is a funny statement, like this joke I made up. Why is it bad to trust atoms? Because they make up everything. I giggled so hard I nearly fell off my chair, and Jamie looked amused.
Haha, funny girl. Back to me now. No one's ever told me they don't like my music, especially teenage girls. Why don't you like it?
You have a good voice, but you don't really talk about real deep stuff. It's all about parties and dancing and silly nonsense. If I had the power to reach as many people as you do, I'd say something more meaningful. Jamie looked a bit taken aback, but then he smiled.
Thanks for being honest, Evelyn.
It took me some time getting used to Jamie, but weirdly enough, I did. He wasn't as dumb as he sounded in his songs. He was even curious about the project I was working on for the National Science Fair, which Alyssa hadn't asked about once. My dad's a smoker, and I hate it. So I decided to make this machine which converts the hydrogen cyanide in cigarette smoke to hydrogen sulfide, which stinks like really bad farts. The smell immediately disappears once the cigarette is put out. I'll make smaller versions of the machine which you can hide in every room, and the smoker can't find them. They'll just have to put out their cigarettes to stop the smell.
I never thought I'd find a girl talking about farts so fascinating. That's a clever invention. And you're pretty cool, Evelyn.
I couldn't help feeling pleased. No one ever called me cool before. But Lyle was a pain in the butt. Whenever he hung out with us, he made robot impressions while talking to me, which he found hilarious. And he was so bossy with Jamie and dismissed all his ideas about their songs or videos. Once when the four of us were getting smoothies, Jamie gave Lyle a song he wrote that was different from their usual style. Lyle read it, crumpled the paper, and threw it away.
Save this lame saving the world poetry for your philosophy class, Jamie. We sell pop music and no one will listen to this trash.
I hated seeing Jamie look so hurt. Jamie, I think you should release a solo album. You're a much more talented songwriter than Lyle, and even your voice is 100 times better. He's just holding you back.
Excuse me? You have no idea what you're talking about, so butt out.
Evelyn, I'm sure Jamie doesn't need career advice from you. And you were super rude to Lyle. Jamie wouldn't look up from the ground, and I felt angry. Alyssa grabbed my hand and we left. When we were far enough, she turned to me. You don't always have to say exactly what you're thinking. What are you trying to do? Break up their band? Jamie and Lyle are famous. Their music is popular, and being friends with them makes us popular. Also, I'm kinda dating Lyle, so can't you just be normal for once? You always made me feel like I was normal, but you've changed now, Alyssa. Well, I've always been different, and that's okay with me, especially if it means I don't have to like stupid pop music just because everyone else does. I was so angry I wanted to scream, but I took deep breaths and counted to 10. By the time I got home, I felt a bit better, but when Mom asked me how my day was, I told her everything.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry, but you guys will make it up, I'm sure of it.
Except that we didn't. It stung that neither Jamie and Alyssa tried talking to me, and I didn't either. I kept myself busy with my project, and a month later, Jamie and Lyle released their new single. It hurt my ears listening to it, but all the girls at school went crazy for them, and they'd even perform the song in the cafeteria at lunch. One afternoon, I was putting the finishing touches to my machine in the science lab when I felt tired and took a short nap. Suddenly, I heard something next to my ear and woke up startled, knocking my head straight into someone's face. Ow! Gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's just you. It's all right then. I think you broke my nose. Why was your nose so close to my head? I was just checking if you were alive. Well, I'm alive. Thank you very much. You can leave now. My nose is bleeding. Can you help me here? I gave Jamie some tissues and held an ice pack on his nose. So, what do you think of the new song? I already told you. Your music stinks. You sound like an auto-tuned robot, and your words are still shallow. Well, the whole world disagrees with you. We're #1 on the charts, and we're going on tour in a few months. Then why do you care what I think? I don't know. I just care. Look, I'm really sorry that I've been ignoring you because of Lyle, but the truth is, I've missed you, and the things you say matter to me, and your eyes are really green up close. I had no idea why, but my stomach was doing something really weird. Then why don't you just take my advice and become a solo artist? It's not that easy. I know I'm more talented, but recording songs takes money, which Lyle has. That's why he makes all the decisions. But I have been thinking about quitting the band. Just then Lyle barged in with Alyssa behind him. I knew I'd find you here. And I am so sick of you putting stupid ideas in his head, Evelyn. You don't know anything about the music industry or the real world. And suddenly, he took a swipe at my model and sent it crashing to the floor. No! What the heck, man? Are you crazy? Why don't you just worry about fixing your dumb machine and leave the music to us, Wally? I felt rage bubbling inside, and I just leapt forward and punched Lyle's face. Then I ran off as fast as I could. I cried for hours over my project. The science fair was next week. My parents were fuming at Lyle and trying to console me when the doorbell rang. It was Alyssa and Jamie with my broken machine. Evelyn, I am so sorry. I knew Lyle wasn't nice to you, and I should have stood up for you earlier. I got so caught up with being popular, and I've been a horrible friend. Please, forgive me. I was just so glad to have her back that I hugged her tight. She and Jamie promised to work day and night by my side to help me fix my machine, and I felt together we could really do it. The next morning, my parents and I were called into the principal's office. Lyle's parents kicked up a huge fuss and wanted me to apologize, which made my parents even madder. He broke our daughter's project. Do you have any idea how important that is? She broke our son's face. That's the source of his livelihood. We want this girl expelled. You know who we are, right? Why don't both parties apologize and we end this? I can't apologize to Lyle because I'm not sorry at all. My entire life, people have mocked me one way or the other. They think I don't understand their jokes or the looks and whispers they exchange, and I always act like I don't. But punching Lyle was the first time I really stood up for myself, and I'm never gonna take that back. The principal checked the CCTV footage in the science lab, and it was clear that Lyle had wrecked my project first for no reason, and he was expelled. And a week later, Jamie and Alyssa were cheering for me the loudest when I won first prize at the science fair. I'm so proud of you, Evelyn, and you were not kidding about how bad that fart smell is. It definitely got my dad to quit smoking. That's amazing. Also, I quit the band, obviously. I can't work with that jerk anymore. Time to go solo. But you'll help me with my songs, right? Of course. What are you gonna write about first? A girl who's gonna save the world, one crazy idea at a time. You're talking about me, right?